The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Buckeye Fire Department, Arizona, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 40231. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation. Starting first on the lower portion of the front bumper, you'll find two open-ended tow hooks on the right and left side frame rail. Moving to the face of the front bumper, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker on the passenger and driver side, along with dual air horns on the passenger and driver side. In the center notch, you'll find your mechanical siren recessed. Moving up to the cab face on the outer edge, you'll find a marker light turn indicator. Just inside that location is the headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. Directly above that, you'll find your emergency warning light cluster. There are 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. Moving now to the outer edge of the A-pillar, it's where you'll find your mirrors housing a flat and convex mirror. Moving up to the brow of the apparatus, you'll find 5 identification clearance lights. Up onto the roof on both the driver and passenger side, there are 2 forward-facing floodlights. And just above that location, you'll find emergency warning lights. Let's go ahead and take a look at the full view here of the driver's side, and we'll now start in with the front cab section. Starting with the front axle, Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheel, and a visual sight gauge into the center of the axle area. On the front bumper, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light, and as we move into the stepwell area, you'll find a airline inlet. Just above that, marker turn indicator light, and directly above that, your side-facing camera. As we move into the doors, you'll find easily accessible with a gloved hand. These are your door lock and latch combination. They are keyed alongside. You'll find grab handles for maintaining 3 points of entry in and out of the cab. As we move to the lower portion of the cab, this is the fill location for your DEF fill. Just above that, lower zone emergency warning light. And then over the warning light is where you'll find your auto eject, which is your shoreline inlet. At the very top section of the cab, this is a side-facing scene light. As we move into the body section, there are 2 stabilizers located, one forward of the rear axle and one to the rear of the axle. On those stabilizer face, you'll find lower zone emergency warning lights. Just in front of the rear axle is where you'll find your wheel chock storage location for 2 wheel chocks, and to the rear of the axle you'll find your stabilizer pads. Moving now up into the midsection where you'll find SCBA bottle storage. There are 3 bottle storage locations here, forward of the axle and one to the rear, near the fill location for your diesel fuel. Moving to the very top, side-facing scene light. As we move to the rear of the apparatus, you'll find a arm light, which is a marker light on the passenger and driver side. Cluster housing emergency warning light, brake, turn, and reverse light. Then moving up to the top, you'll find a rear-facing emergency warning light. On the very top, you'll find a 360 emergency warning light, and then just inset in that location to the center is where you'll find 2 rear-facing scene lights. As we move toward the center, you'll find your traffic advisor. Just slightly above the traffic advisor is where you'll find your backup camera. As we move downward in the American flag Eagle Pierce logo, this is your aerial inlet. There is a gauge associated with that, and then also just in that area an inclinometer for left to right. You'll also find a pan door located here. This is the location of your aerial drain. As we move now to the full image of the passenger side, we'll start now with the rear of the apparatus. Same configuration and layout. The difference, we have the exhaust located on the right side. In the cab section, same configuration and layout. The difference here is we also have a side-facing camera. As we move now into the driver's space, let's start first with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel are safety and warning placard information. Also, you'll find your combination door lock and latch combination. And then just above that, you'll find electric cab windows. These are for all 4 cab windows and a grab handle. As we move into the cab space itself, down in the lower portion of the stepwell, this is where you'll find an air inlet. Moving just up from this location at the seat level, at the base is where you're going to find, when plugged into Shoreline Power, your battery voltage indicator will illuminate, indicating battery status. Also on the engine cowling, you'll find this yellow placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, the VIN number, all of the fluid capacities for each component, fluid capacity, and also fluid type. As we move to the floor, you'll find a mechanical siren foot pedal. Up to about the left knee of the operators, where you'll find your master battery switch, quarter turn, tech module, and engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic ports. These are for your service team. As we move down, you'll find these switches here for ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics indicator, and then also a regen inhibit switch along with a display port. Just up from that, you'll find the interaxle differential lock. It's an air switch along with a informational red light indicating that it's locked. On the opposite side of the column, you'll find aerial master, PTO, and stabilizer cameras. Along to the right of that, flat mirror and convex mirror controls. As we move to the dash itself, you'll find 4-way flashers, start ignition on the left, a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. This will engage or disengage all emergency lights, headlight switch, and a panel switch light, which allows you to brighten or dim lights within preview of the operator. On the opposite side of the steering column, you'll find the OK to engage your high idle indicator and switch. Up to the dash cluster, you're going to find your transmission temp, oil pressure, def level, and water temp. On the right, front air, rear air, volts, and fuel level. In the center, tachometer and speedometer. Diagnostic tally information lights will display above and also below the tachometer and speedometer, with an informational display screen in the very center. Let's take a look just to the right of the steering column, and then we'll focus in on these items here, starting first with your Pierce Command Zone. Tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. It is a touch screen and also function button. Please see the owner's manual for more information. Some switches here for engine brake on and off, a settings switch for low, medium, and high, mirror heat, load manager, and also a front wheel lock for your aerial device. Moving just down from this location, pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. These are the rear spring brakes. Also to the right is the Allison transmission pad, digital readout, push button, and some informational caution information regarding disengaging the retarder. Let's move just to the right of this location also, where you'll find your climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost. Also 12-volt access via USB and barrel style, along with a siren brake. Let's go ahead and move overhead, where you'll find this yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 11 feet 10 inches, the length of the vehicle 41 feet 2.5 inches, gross vehicle weight rating 66,800 pounds. Also, you'll find some switches located here for emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, upper rear warning, high beam flash, and also an air horn switch. Moving just to the right of this location are your scene lights. We have front scene, driver scene, passenger scene, and deck lights. When any of these lights have been activated, the light will illuminate the outer edge of the switch bezel, indicating the switch has been activated. Moving further to the right, we have our traffic advisor module. And then once again, just slightly to the right again, you'll find your control for your siren and PA speaker module. Moving now to the center of the vehicle, if this light is flashing, it's indicating do not move your apparatus. You may have a compartment or door open. Also air conditioning at this level, also with vent control. Moving down to the rear of the truck, 2 outside flip-down seats and 2 forward-facing seats. As we move directly behind the seat, you'll find your battery charger. When plugged into Shoreline power, this will activate, maintaining battery status. Also to the exterior access with an adjustable shelf. Inside this compartment, you'll have Shoreline power outlets and then also a 12-volt fuse block. As we move to the Goodyear tire Alcoa wheel, once again, visual sight gauge into the center of the axle. We're now into the rear section of the cab. Let's go ahead and take a look inside this area first, starting with the door panel, a fixed door panel, safety and warning placard information, electric window control, door lock and latch. Overhead, push on and off white or red lens lights, your air conditioning unit, and then 2 on the outer edge EMS compartments with webbing. As we move to the rear seat, there are 2 forward-facing seats fixed and then 2 fold-down seats on both the passenger and driver side. Back into those EMS compartments, we'll find compartment lighting inside. Also in each of the compartments, you'll find Shoreline power outlets and also 12-volt access. To the rear, you'll find your oil and also transmission daily check access location. A couple of shots here of the outside wall showing the fold-down seat, center seats, and then also the passenger side fold-down seat. Let's move back to the exterior now. Down in the lower portion of the cab is where you'll find your Shoreline inlet, auto eject, and then also an emergency warning light. Down at the very base, you'll find the 7.3 US gallon DEF tank. It is the blue cap. Moving now into the body section, you'll find a through compartment in the first compartment in the body. Pull-out trays are located in the upper and lower section, LED lighting and ventilation. Moving into the over stabilizer compartment, there is a stabilizer camera on the front stabilizer. Also some warning information here regarding danger, electrocution hazard. The equipment is not insulated. And then also a crush injury warning hazard because of the movement of that device. Moving toward the rear of the truck, you'll find an additional compartment. And the lower section has folding wheel chocks. A lower portion has a pull-out tray. The release for that tray is located on the right, along with 2 adjustable shelves. In the wheel over compartment area, you'll find a tool board. D-hands will gain you access into the rear side of the tool board. It will lock into position. The release is located on the hinge side. In front of the rear axles, you'll find a single SCBA bottle storage location, tandem axle, Goodyear tire, Alcoa wheel. In between the 2 axles, you'll find additional storage location for 2 SCBA bottles, along with an emergency warning light. Moving toward the rear section, you'll find the ultra low sulfur diesel fill location and also a single SCBA bottle storage location. Moving to the next compartment toward the rear, you'll find a pull-out tray in the lower portion and 2 adjustable shelves. Once again, the release is located on the lower right-hand side. Also, near the stair area is also the location where the rear stabilizer is. I'd like to point out a crush injury warning, and then also if climbing on or off the vehicle, always face the vehicle while climbing on or off. In the lift and turn latch in between the step area, there's an access location. We'll talk about that next. And then at the very bottom portion, there is an inclinometer located here. This is from front to back. Inside, this is your access location for electrical components for your maintenance team. Also, quick shot of the inclinometer here. Once again, front to back of the truck. Moving now to all compartments open. We'll move around to the rear of the apparatus next. Let's start first with a few items here, starting with a warning placard indicating when climbing on or off the vehicle, always face it, and then always never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. This is the large diameter inlet for your aerial. This is a pressure gauge for the aerial inlet, which is the American flag Pierce logo eagle. Also up to the very top, this is an additional inclinometer. This is from left to right. And then as we move down, you'll find a pressure warning. Because of the caps, they may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. Also on the anchors, please be advised that is a direct pull. Do not pull upward on the anchors. Moving to the right, you'll find a warning placard here indicating only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment. In the very compartment in the very center, you'll find a diverter for either aerial mode or stabilizer mode. This is the override. You'll also find individual controls for those. There is a placard on the face of the door for instructions of its operation. The valves are color-coded, indicating stabilizers and aerial in the gray, blue, and green for the other options. In the second access door, you'll find the access for the aerial drain. It's an 1.5-inch ball valve. Then to the right, you'll find a relief valve located here with a set screw for adjustments. Now into the rear ladder storage area, where you'll have your ladder storage and also long-handled pike poles. We have a 20-foot roof, 16-foot roof, 24-foot two-section, and a 10-foot folding ladder. Also a 35-foot two-section on the right-hand side. I'd also like to point out a warning regarding fall. Never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. This is where the control module is located. There are controls inside. Please see the owner's manual for more information on its operation. This is the emergency stop red push button. Also warning here regarding aerial stabilizer. And as we move around to the passenger side, climbing on or off the vehicle, make sure that you face the vehicle when climbing onto it. And then also, due to the movement of that stabilizer, we do have a crush injury warning. This is also a lift and turn latch into this space in between the ladders. This is for maintenance team, where you can find additional electrical components. As we move now toward the forward portion of the truck, I would like to point out once again the crush injury. Just to the next compartment, where you'll find 3 adjustable shelves and a pull-out tray in the lower portion. Release located on the lower right. In the over wheel compartment, LED lighting, ventilation, and also an SCBA bottle to the rear of the axle. Moving forward to this location, Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheel. This is the tandem axle at the rear portion. As we move just up from this location, 2 SCBA bottle storage locations in between the 2 wheels, and then also over wheel compartment has a tool board, both storage on front and back of the tool board, and the vertical rear wall. These are the 2 SCBA bottle storage in between the 2 rear axles. Now moving toward the forward section of the vehicle, you'll find an additional SCBA bottle single storage, and then just below that you'll find a turn indicator marker light. In this compartment, we do have a 3-drawer toolbox in addition with adjustable shelves. This is also the location of the stabilizer camera at the top and an additional pan door for storage area. Also a warning here or danger regarding electrocution hazard. The ladder is non-insulated. Also crush injury because of the movement of the front stabilizer. We're back to the through compartment now. Once again, adjustable shelves. These go both right and left side. As we move into the section of the compartment, you'll find your cab lift. There are instructions for its operation to raise and then also instructions to lower the cab. We do have some caution and danger placards located here. Please ensure all items are secure. And we have those placards for danger because of the movement of that cab. As we move now into the rear cab space, let's start first with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, electric window control, and a grab handle. Once again, into this space, we're on the opposite side. Same configuration and layout as we have on the driver's side as we do on the passenger side. Push on and off white or red lens lights in the notch section here of the roof line. 2 forward-facing seats. On the outer edge, the fold-down seat. As we move forward to this location, you'll find additional access into the EMS compartment area, adjustable shelf, shoreline power outlets, and 12-volt outlets inside this space. We're now to the front axle. Once again, Goodyear tire, Alcoa wheel. Moving into the officer space next, I would like to point out affixed to the door panel are our safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, window control, and a grab handle. Let's go ahead and move into the space now where you'll find your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system, an airbag. Please don't mount anything within this area. Also to the A-pillars where you'll find the fill location for your windshield wiper fluid. At the floor level, you'll find a foot pedal for the mechanical siren. A few more images here of the supplemental restraint system and warning placard regarding mounting of any equipment within this area. As we move overhead in the cab, you'll find push on and off white or red lens lights, a lanyard for an air horn, also switch panel here for a activation for the front flood. Directly behind the officer seat, you'll find a bus panel here for 12-volt power. All compartments are open now on the exterior for a quick view. Let's go ahead and move up onto the top of the truck. We're now into the dunnage area. The arrow is indicating the location for the hydraulic refill for hydraulic oil. That's also the breather location for that fluid. On the cab itself is you'll find a non-walking surface, and that's why we have these identified for this warning placard in this area. Moving back into the dunnage area, you can see on the outer edge the two side-facing floodlights. As we now move to the 4-section aerial 107, let's go ahead and identify a few items here. We do have some additional toolboxes. I would like to point out on limiting the amount of weight in these, there is a maximum capacity of 75 pounds. As we move into the first fly, you'll find a 6-foot roof ladder. As we move to the very tip, you'll find the ability to stow the nozzle at a lower position on the fly section. This is the mechanism that allows that to happen. Also to the right, nozzle control for straight stream fog, right, left, up, and down. To the right is a passive intercom system with volume control. This is the lever that allows you to store the nozzle at the tip or slightly behind it. This needs to be done while the ladder is stowed. Once again, fog, straight stream, right, left, up, and down. Intercom volume and intercom speaker. Master stream device located at the very end. As we move into the exterior or bed fly, this is where you'll find the 14-foot roof ladder. Also, as we move to the pedestal, we do have some warning placard information here regarding crush injury because of the movement of the turntable. Also, an audible alarm speaker is located here. It does have the ability to increase or decrease sound levels on the face of that. On the cover itself, you'll find all your information regarding caution and danger information and also NFPA ladder load requirements on the inside of the cover. In the front section, this is the speaker for the intercom system, also volume control and a push to talk. As we move to the panel itself, you'll find the emergency stop push button. Also, we have aerial speed and also emergency power override. As we move further down, you'll find your lighting controls for the aerial device. And then just to the right, you'll find your command zone, touchscreen, and function buttons. Everything can be accessed through this device. Nozzle control and stow information for when you're activating your nozzle. And then to the right, ladder controls for retract, extend, left, right, up, down. Moving now, the next set of images are that going to be of the chassis and undercarriage area along with the engine. As we move through these items, we'll identify a few items here. First, let's start with when raising the cab. Raise the cab to its full extent. Once the cab has been raised, please place the safety bar into position located here on the frame rail. This is on the driver's side. Once the cab is fully in place, or the safety bar is fully in place, do not lower the cab onto the safety bar. Maintain equal pressure on both left and right cylinders. Your vehicle is equipped with an independent front suspension, which is referred to as TAC 4. As we move into the engine at the very top, the yellow is the oil dipstick, the red or orange color is the transmission dipstick. You'll also find a location for checking power steering. Fill location for your radiator is located at the front of the radiator. The white container is also a recovery for that reservoir. There should not be fluid, and do not add fluid into that recovery container. As we move down the frame rail on the driver's side, you'll find your battery box located on this side. There's also one on the passenger side. Let's go ahead and identify where you'll find the jumper studs for the negative and positive batteries, located just under the battery box. The blue cap here is accessible when the cab is down. This is the fill location for the DEF fill. There'll be no additional audio until the very end. As we move to the passenger side where the battery box is located, just to the rear of that is where you'll find the fill location for your hydraulic reservoir for cab lift. Moving now back toward the front section, I would like to point out on the under section of the front cab area, you'll find two open-ended tow hooks. These are not intended for towing and are used for firefighter operational purposes. Congratulations, Buckeye Fire Department, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 40231. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.